Lands Commission to explain why it has taken long to publish a report and its findings, as well as recommendations on the Tunyai B adjudication scheme at Gakurungu land petition to the public, as well as having visited the site on the 8th of September, the year is 2021, and undertaken the public hearing. The member also seeks to understand from the National Lands Commission when the report will be released to the members of the public. His questions will be replied before the Departmental Committee on Matters Lands. The National Assembly will this morning be considering the public health concerns at Langata Cemetery, and this is a motion by Honorable Felix Odur, the member for Langata, that aware that Article 42 of the Constitution provides for the right of every person to a clean and healthy environment, and further aware that Article 69 of the Constitution obligates the state to ensure sustainable utilization of the environment and natural resources, and this includes land, recognizing that the fourth schedule of the Constitution assigns the national government the function of land planning, and this includes the general principles of land planning and the coordination of planning by counties, as well as matters of health policy, and further recognizing that there is ongoing public outcry regarding the neglect of the Langata Public Cemetery, which was declared full close to 2 decades ago, and concerned that this particular matter has been left unaddressed and poses significant health risks to the members living in that particular constituency. Now, therefore, the House urges the national government through the Ministry of Health to urgently conduct an assessment of the public health public health risks posed by the continued usage of the Langata Cemetery, and to institute mitigatory measures and collaborate with other stakeholders. And this includes the Nairobi City County Government to identify suitable alternative land use for the particular usage of the cemeteries in this particular nation. The development and implementation of a program for the voluntary regularization of the land occupied by squatters for a prescribed period is a motion by Honorable Mark Mwenje that members of the National Assembly are set to consider this morning. The National Assembly is also set to consider the burning and the growing of eucalyptus trees in the country, and this is a motion by Honorable Moses Kirima. In this particular motion, the member seeks to have the House resolve that the national government, through the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Matters Forestry, orders absolute banning of planting of eucalyptus trees and encourages planting of indigenous species across the country. Also, the motion seeks to have the House resolve that the Ministry of Matters Environment orders the uprooting of all eucalyptus trees and replacement with other varieties of trees, particularly the indigenous species, to ensure conservation of various water sources, as well as preserve the ecosystem, as well as initiate the process of putting in place punitive measures against persons who defy these particular orders. The business of the National Assembly is yet to commence this morning, owing to the fact that the House is awaiting to raise that particular quorum to commence business this morning, and the development and implementation of child program for the children whose parents are in lawful custody is a motion on matters childcare by Honorable Brighton Yegon, that aware that Article 53 of the Constitution provides for the rights of children, including the right to free as well as compulsory basic education, and further aware that Section 22 of the Persons Deprived of Liberty Act and the Child Care Policy provides for the care of child whose parent is deprived of liberty until the child attains the age of 4 years, and recognizing that children above the age of 4 years still require parental support, and further recognizing that the majority of these children often suffer from emotional distress, social stigma, and economic hardships. Cognizant of that particular fact that all children should be accorded a means of maintaining their relationship with their incarcerated parents, the National Assembly has raised that particular quorum this morning. And I'll hand you over so we can follow up on the developments from the chamber this morning. Enjoy your viewing.
We now may proceed. You may stop the bell.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, we have today in the Speaker's Gallery the following students from Regis School, Runda. 1, Esther Oyo. 2, Ashley Wanjira. And 3, Michelle Kago. The honorable members, the students are at the National Assembly for 1 week as part of their job shadowing program, which the school undertakes in various institutions during school holidays. Honorable members, on my own behalf and that of the National Assembly, I wish them fruitful engagements during the course of their program. Thank you. Honorable members, I also wish to introduce to you the President of the Pan-African Parliament, the Right Honorable Chief Fortune Zephaniah Charumbira, who is seated in the Speaker's row. He is accompanied by Mr. Daniel Bukaane, a protocol officer. Honorable members, the President is in the country to enhance collaboration between the regional parliament and our parliament and the national executive. Honorable members, on my own behalf and that of the House, I wish to welcome him to the National Assembly and wish him fruitful engagements during his stay in the country. I will give an opportunity to member for Kabuchai, the Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga, as you are a member of the Pan-African Parliament.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, indeed, I'm happy to put my comment on this very able man, Honorable Chief Fortune Zephaniah Charumbira. In his leadership, Madam Speaker, Pan-African Parliament has realized a lot, and a lot has also changed. And even the attitudes of Pan-African Parliament to Africa and the world, Madam Speaker, has changed. We are very grateful about him, Madam Speaker, but this man is among the Africa's finest. The leadership in terms of the platform as PAP offering the platform for Africa's voice on trade and African dignity, Madam Speaker, has come to its fruition. I wish him a nice stay in Kenya and safe flight back to South Africa, Midrand, as we shall join him in May as members of PAP. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance. Thank you.
I'll also give opportunity to another member who's a member of the Pan-African Parliament, member for Nairobi City County, Honorable Esther Passaris.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is an honor for me as the member of Nairobi County to be a member of the Pan-African Parliament. And it is also an honor for us as the members of the Pan-African Parliament from Kenya, both in the National Assembly and the Senate, to actually host our President, Chief Fortune Charambira. Chief has been in the country for the last 2 days. He's had an extremely tight schedule. He was hosted first by our own Speaker, the Right Honorable Moses Wetangula, and the Senate Speaker as well, Amason Kingi. Our Chief also held meetings with His Excellency the President, where we were also present, including the Ambassador for Zimbabwe. Madam Speaker, as we sat and listened to all the deliberations from the speakers of the two houses as well as the President, we realized that the continent of Africa has a lot of work to do. And it is our hope that eventually the Africa Union and all the members will realize that we need a huge budget. It is really sad that we have a deficit in our budget, and we are not able to accomplish all the things that the founders of the Pan-African Parliament had envisaged. Our President is very passionate. He understands the issues from trade to tariffs to freedom of passage of movement within the continent, to also climate change issues. We are going to be hosting in the month of May, as we go into session, climate change as an agenda and a topic, and thereafter also trade. And we are also hoping that our own President will be there to give a keynote address, because he is very passionate and he's driving the agenda of climate change. We know that Africa suffers the brunt of climate change, and yet we are not the contributors of gases into the environment. So we as Kenya, I believe we are very proud that we have delivered our President to the country and engaged in all these deliberations, and we're hoping that eventually Africa as a continent will be able to stand firmly and maximize on its resources, its consumption, its production locally. The President had mentioned that we're a huge market and we cannot be ignored. And we also need the respect of all our international partners as the continent of Africa. We are no longer the dark continent. We're a continent with a lot of potential, with a population with a huge purchasing power, with a young population that is vibrant and educated. So as a continent, we want to be able to make model laws so that as a continent we can move together. But without resources, this is not going to be easy. So as our parliament deliberates, we also want to push for resources for the Pan-African Parliament so that we can achieve our mandate to legislate and harmonize growth and prosperity, not only in our own countries, our regions, but in the continent. I want to say thank you to our President for being with us this week, and wish you journey mercies as you head back. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I also call upon Member for Eldama Ravine, the Honorable Musa Sirma, who previously served with the Chief of the President of the Pan-African Parliament.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As I appreciate the visit by the President of Pan-African Parliament, I would like to say I had the honor and privilege to serve with him during my the second Parliament of the Pan-African Parliament, that is the 2008 to 2013 Parliament. And Madam Speaker, you will realize that those who climb the ladder of Pan-African Parliament leadership are those who have the experience and those who have served in the Pan-African Parliament. I would like to ask our members who are serving in the Pan-African Parliament at the present time that we need them back so that they could climb up the leadership. We have heads of bureaus who are deputies and head of the caucuses. I know the members from Kenya were late in going to the Pan-African Parliament, and I hope that they will be considered so that they can be able to climb up the ladder of the Pan-African Parliament leadership. Madam Speaker, this parliament is a great parliament. When we are going to be discussing about Africa, the free trade zone, to have our countries trade internally without going out of Africa, this is the instrumental tool to be used by the African countries to be able to have Africa grow. I want to wish my good friend, Chief, I don't know, possibly many members may not know why he's called Chief. He owns a kingdom in Zimbabwe. And therefore, Madam Speaker, this is a great man who has been installed as a chief, and he has also been installed as the president of Pan-African Parliament. May you have Johnny Masses, God's blessings as you lead the voice of Africa into one voice. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I also call upon the Honorable Rehab Mokami, member for Nyeri County.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank our President, Chief Fortune from South Africa. I want to thank him because he really welcomed us when we went to South Africa, as we went late, and he was able to assist us, and we allocated committees. Personally, I'm in a committee of cooperation. Honorable Speaker, we are going to support our president. We are going to support democracy within the Africa and the economic challenges. We are going to support on free trade area, ecosystem Africa, to utilize trade business in our continent. Honorable Speaker, lastly, we are going to continue widening and deepening Africa integration. Honorable Speaker, I want to wish our President, Johnny Masses, hoping to see him next month in May. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I wish to call upon the Honorable Didimas Baraza, member for Kimilili.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity also to welcome the President of the Pan-African Parliament and just tell them that we, members of the African continent, look at Pan-African Parliament with a lot of optimism. We will want to see seamless Africa, where people would cross our continent not being required to provide any visa, because we are one people, we are one continent. We would want to see the Kenyan people crossing over to South Africa for employment, crossing over to Zimbabwe for employment without any hindrance, Madam Speaker, because Africa is one, and we should not allow ourselves to be divided by these European countries that bring a lot of procedures and protocols when you are traveling from one country to another country within the African continent. And the Pan-African Parliament must be also very instrumental to ensure that constituent parliaments adopts and implements whatever is resolved at Pan-African Parliament, so that it can be beneficial to each and every citizen of African countries. So I take this time to welcome them and wish them that they should not be in a hurry to go back to South Africa. They can visit Masai Mara. They can go to Kakamega and see the crying stone or they can go to Bungoma and walk within the infamous caves of Mount Elgon. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
And lastly, the Honorable Nabwera Nabi, member for Lugari.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to add my voice to welcoming the President of the Pan-African Parliament. But I also want to add that we would like to look forward to an African continent that has one common language of business. We would like the Pan-African Parliament to lead the continent in rediscovering itself where Kwame Nkrumah wished it to be, in rediscovering itself where Abdel Nasser wished it to be. I would like to ask the President that as he is in this country, in a country that the people love visitors, he should use that opportunity to encourage all other leaders around the continent to work towards an Africa that is united, a continent that will trade within itself, a continent that is going to build the infrastructure that will be able to make it compete with the Asian tigers, that will compete with the West, that will compete with the Eastern Bloc, and that will ensure that the disenfranchisement that the continent has faced on the global market ends. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Dr. Pukose, member for Endebess. And I think we'll give one more shot to Dr. Makale Mulu, and then we can move to the next order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to join my colleagues who represent this country in the Pan-African Parliament to welcome the President of the Pan-African Parliament to our Parliament of Kenya, and want to tell him that Africa is one, and as you debate, as you guide the House in the Pan-African Parliament, I think we need to look for ways of how we can facilitate the free movement of Africans, free trade within our region, and even exploitation of our own resources, because Africa is rich. We are not poor. We have resources that are exported to other countries for value addition there. We can do our own value addition within our African region. One of the challenges facing South Africa as we speak now is the issue of power rationing. And since you've been in Kenya, you've not seen the issue of us rationing electricity. Electricity is here, is available in plenty. So, but then we need to look at how can we be able to exploit the power in Hinga Dam, which is within the Zaire River. And that